Hey guys, welcome to Thoughts with Ivan Meneses. This is episode 4, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the things that guys do when they start falling in love with you, and perhaps we're going to talk about the things that they do when they start falling out of love as well. So, on a previous episode, it was episode 2, I think, I told you guys a story about this girl who I've fallen in love with. This girl who I've started liking at work. So if you've seen that episode, amazing. This is sort of a continuation to that episode. But if you haven't seen it, no worries. I'll give you a quick background. So basically, I graduated college, and as soon as I graduated, I worked for this bank. And I'm a very introverted person till this day. I like being alone. I like my alone time. I like my routine, right? And having someone in my life kind of destroys that routine. And what I've seen is that I value my routine more than I do like having a person around, if that makes sense. So there's me, my being my introverted self. I would go to like my 1 hour lunches at work. We had this cafeteria, and I would be eating lunch alone. And don't feel bad for me. I like being alone. I like eating my lunch alone while watching a YouTube video. That's my thing. But there's this girl, and she probably took notice of me and probably took pity of me as well, because out of nowhere she started kind of like joining me just very casually. She wasn't a person who, I don't think she liked me. I don't think there were like any ulterior motives or hidden intentions behind her joining me. It's just that she saw me being alone and being, by myself, and thought it'll be nice to like just casually join me, and so she did. Now this girl, I became very close to her, right? So we started sharing more personal stories. We started sharing more intimate details about ourselves. And here's the thing, like when we talk about the signs that a guy might like you, the first thing would be like, you would just know. You would just know that you're not welcome. You know what I'm saying? It's like for me, again, I value my alone time. I like being alone. I like my 1 hour eating my food and watching my YouTube video. But somehow, for some reason, when this girl is around, I didn't mind it as much. It didn't bother me as much that she's there, taking up some of my personal space and taking up some of my alone time. So again, we became kind of like really good friends. I'm not the type of person who'd have like a lot of friends. Thinking about it now, like growing up, I wasn't the type of person who would always have like a lot of friends. I would have a bunch of acquaintances. I would have a bunch of like people around me like all the time, but like in terms of like best friends, those people who would say like, who would just throw out the word best friends so casually, like I have 3 best friends or 4 best friends. To me, when I say best friend, it's just one person. It's my bestest best friend. So just one person. When I say best friend, to me, it's just one person. I cannot have 3 best friends. So I really look at the quality of my friends, and by extension, I didn't have many. Anyway, this girl became my best friend at work. I wasn't planning on having a best friend at work. I was there to work. By the way, it's the only job that I've ever done my entire life. Quickly after that, I realized that I didn't like working for other people, so I kind of quit that job after a few months. But later on, I'll tell you what happened with the girl. But basically, yeah, we started becoming more intimate in terms of the stuff that we share to each other. We became a lot more personal, being best friends. I knew more about her, being the person who I'm there with like all the time, at least during lunches. I started like looking for her and stuff, but I didn't like her yet at this point. She was just like my best friend, like honestly. Now here's the thing, this cafeteria would have like, it has like a set menu, and it's based on days. So maybe, let's just say on Monday, they would serve sisig. On Tuesday, they would serve like spring rolls. And on Wednesday, they would serve like fried chicken. And fried chicken days would be my favorite days. And it will be like, kind of like the favorite of hers. as well. So we'd both order fried chicken, and what she'd do is she would get she would share the chicken, not share. Well, she doesn't like the chicken skin, right? So her not liking the chicken skin, what she would do is just like with her literal fingers, she would remove the skin and put it on my plate. And I appreciated that so much because I love chicken skin. I mean, I don't mind getting fat. I wasn't worried about my figure at all. All I was worried about is just like eating good and enjoying the chicken. And for me, I like the fatty chicken skin. And apparently she just doesn't like it. So it was very innocent. She's not trying to please me or anything like that. It was very innocent because she doesn't like the chicken skin. And purely because of that, something in my head changed. It was like a spark. And out of nowhere, I started looking at her differently. And here's the kicker. So this girl, she's not, she's there to work as well. So not the richest. They didn't have a lot of money. And in order to save money, she would bring her own lunch most days. Right, most days she would bring her own lunch, and here's the thing: when she brings her own lunch, it's like home cooked foods. But when you think of like home cooked foods, typically you think about like well for Filipinos maybe caldereta. You're gonna think about kare kare. You're gonna think about I don't know adobo or sisig. No, when she brings her home cooked meal, it's breakfast food, and I love breakfast food. In the Philippines, we have these red hot dogs, but they're red. They have a very unique flavor profile, and she would bring those for lunch, right? So she would bring like 2 pieces of red hot dogs and 1 hard-boiled egg and garlic rice, because I won't say that's like a poor person's food in the Philippines, but that's kind of a poor person's food in the Philippines because it's not the most high quality, it's not the healthiest either, but it just tastes amazing and it's very budget friendly. So she would bring that, and every now and then I would have like one of her hot dogs, and I would have a little bit of the egg whites on her hard-boiled egg and a little bit of her garlic rice as well because I love breakfast food. And over time, what this girl did was like from say 2 pieces of red hot dogs and like 1 hard-boiled eggs just for her, she started cooking more in consideration of me. So from the 2 pieces of hot dog, it became like 5 pieces, 6 pieces of hot dog because I can eat a lot. I'm not the most fit person back then. I'm pretty fat if I'm being honest. But yeah, so she would bring like 4 pieces, 6 pieces I think. Yeah, like six pieces of hot dog and 3 hard-boiled eggs. 2 of which will be for hers. And then the four of the hot dogs will be mine. 2 hard-boiled eggs will be mine as well, and just a bunch of rice and like that banana ketchup, and and she would bring that to lunch to share with me. And I kid you not, once she started doing that, I just fell for her. Back then I didn't understand it, but now understanding psychology more as well as human nature, I was able to figure out why I started liking her. It was because when I was young, I would go to church with like my parents, like with my mom, and then right before we go home we would pass by McDonald's and we'd buy, it's called a burger McDonald's. It's the cheapest McDonald's burger that you can buy back then. Pretty sure it was like, I don't know, like 80 cents maybe for a burger. And she would purposely try not to finish the burger because she knows that my 1 burger wouldn't be enough for me. So she has to like split her burger, eat half of it, and share the other half to me. And what this girl has been doing, like sharing her skin, the skin of her chicken, sharing or like bringing food for me, is somehow in my brain I was able to just like correlate that to like the care and love that my mom gave to me. And from there, I started liking this girl. I started falling in love with this girl. And when you say fall in love with me, it's pretty easy. Like when your world evolves around this girl, when she's the only thought of your mind. Before you sleep, she's the one that you're thinking of. When you wake up, she's the one that you're thinking of. When you go to lunch, it's not lunch anymore, but it's spending time with this person. You are in love. And that's what was happening to me. I was obsessed. Now, here's the thing. When a guy really, truly likes you, when a guy really, truly is in love with you, whether he likes it or not, he will be showing signs. And me personally, I was showing all kinds of signs, right? I was super transparent. I wanted to make sure that she knows that I liked her. I wanted to make sure that I actually pursue, and I wanted to make sure that that I don't play games. That it's clear cut. That it's absolutely crystal clear that she knows that I like her, and that I'm hoping that she can reciprocate my liking towards her. So again, I was obsessed, right? I typically only had like 1 hour with her. That 1 hour during lunch felt like minutes. It wasn't enough for me. Me being obsessed with her, I wanted to spend more time with her. And me being my introverted self, found myself trying to think of ways to hang out with her group. That's insane to me. I like being alone. I like my alone time. Now, out of nowhere, I am not such an introvert anymore. I became sort of an extrovert, just finding ways on how to like be in her friend group, be in the activities that she's doing, be around her more often, because that 1 hour that I had with her was no longer enough. I wanted more time to spend with her. So I was just like doing just the most random, just like the weirdest things, just the most awkward things and and funny excuses, just so I can spend more time with her. And when I say excuses, it could be like just, I don't know, needing help with the latest module that was released, needing help with, I don't know, with the freaking photocopier machine because out of nowhere I forgot how to use the photocopier, or just sending her like random texts trying to be funny, because every single reply just gives me the chills. It just gives me the feels, and I was craving it. But then you're gonna say, Ivan, you're obsessed. That's unhealthy. I don't care about. I don't know about you, but if I were to fall in love, I want the person to be obsessed with me. If the person is no less than obsessed, I don't want it. I want the person obsessed. So now I'm just thinking of like the most out of the box ways that I can have more time with her, just the most random, just awkward and cringy excuses. So I can have a few more seconds, a few more minutes with her. And I wanted to make sure that I make the best of it. You know, those few minutes, those few seconds, those few interactions that I do get with her in the day. I want to make it worth it. I want to put my best foot forward as well. So I started working out, right? So this girl, if I were to think about it, she introduced me to the gym. I was a fatso back then, not the best looking body, especially after college. So I started working out again, right? I started dressing better as well. And the funniest thing is that I would go to work, and I would bring a perfume. It's CK1, Calvin Klein one, and it has such weak projection that I would go to the bathroom, right? So I would arrive at work, I would go to the bathroom and literally spray it in the bathroom, and I would purposely try to walk, within her bubble, hoping that she'd smell it. So just like the weirdest, just like the quirkiest things I did, and it's fun. Being that level obsessed, being that level in love with a person is magical. If you haven't experienced it, I really wish that you do. Because you just do like the weirdest things. You're just energetic all the time. You are happy all the time. You are vulnerable all the time, but it's magical. I wish you can feel that. Because when you think about a person being obsessed with you, the weird thing about girls is that when you know that a guy is obsessed with you, automatically you don't like that guy anymore. Why? You like the guy who is not obsessed with you. You like the bad boy. You like the magic mics, right? It's weird. And to me, I was completely aware of that. I can be a simp. I can act obsessed, and I'm just putting myself out there and risking my heart, for this girl, hoping that she'd reciprocate, and hoping that the feelings can eventually be mutual. She became the reason why I lived, like during that season of my life, if I'm completely being honest. And in a guy who truly likes you, a guy who is truly in love with you, will feel the same. And when I say it like that, it sounds kind of bad, but it's so magical. It's so worth it. Have you ever heard that quote, like having love and hurt than not love at all? Something like that. I believe in that quote. I don't mind. To experience that level of love, to experience that level of infatuation and liking towards someone, it's magical. And I don't care if that means that the other person will not reciprocate, because just to feel that, it's amazing. And just to have the ability to try and get that person to fall in love with you as well, to see your value and see your worth,
So
and
she
why
has to,
you're
like, split
you're
her
the
burger,
perfect match for them. I love
eat
that.
half of it,
Love like
and
that.
share the other
Infatuation
half
like
to
that,
me.
a crush like
And
that will literally
and what
change
this
you.
girl has been doing, like
It will change
sharing
you
her skin,
as a
the
person,
skin of
and
her
hopefully
chicken,
it's for the better. I think we discussed
or,
that
like, bringing food
on
for
episode
me.
1. I'm not trying to
Somehow in
promote
my
it, but
brain I was
on
able
episode
to just,
1,
like,
I was
correlate
talking
that to,
about
like, the care and
why
love
crushes
that my mom
are
gave to
important,
me. And from
and why
there,
crushes
I
taste better.
started
Again, this is
girl.
only me, but during that
I started
time,
falling
lunches
in
are
love
no longer
with this
lunches.
girl. When you say
Lunches
fall in
are
love with
my
me, it's
time,
pretty easy. Like,
to spend more
when,
time with her.
when your world
Dressing
revolves around this
was
girl,
no longer
when
dressing
she's the
up
only
for me
thought
casually.
of your mind. Before you sleep,
I'm dressing
she's the
for
one
her.
that you're thinking of.
I'm
When
trying
you
to
wake
figure
up,
out the styles
she's the one
that
that you're
might
thinking
like.
of.
I'm trying
When
to
you
figure
go
out
to
like
lunch,
the
it's not
color
lunch anymore, but
combinations
it's
that might
spending
suit
time
me
with
well
this person.
and
You
will
are in
present
love.
me
And that's
the
what was
best
happening to
light
me. I
for
was
her. Food
obsessed.
was
Now here's
no
the thing:
longer for
when a
enjoyment.
guy
It's
really truly
it's for
likes you,
bringing
when
her
a guy
the type of
really
food that she wants as
truly
well.
is in love
Coffee
with
was
you,
no longer
whether
just a
he
regular
likes it or
coffee
not,
run.
he will be showing
Coffee runs
signs.
became
And
an
me personally,
opportunity
I
for
was
me
showing
to
all
bring her the
kinds
coffee
of signs,
that
right?
she likes.
I was super
Security and
transparent. I
safety
wanted to
wasn't
make sure that she
wasn't
knows
no longer about
that
me. Security and safety means when I'm walking with her, that I make sure that she's protected, that I'm on the danger side of the road, and she's completely safe. Guys do that, especially if they like you. Because when a guy is obsessed with you, when a guy is truly in love with you, they put you on top of their needs first. So basically, that's the gist of it. Like, like for me. And how long is this video? Okay, so this video is kind of long already, and I wanna tackle the things that guys do when they start falling out of love, I guess. And just the quick summary is that it's the opposite of everything that I just mentioned. I saw this TikTok video. I might as well just pull it up. I'll pull it up. And I'll make you. I'll watch it with you guys, and it's a really good summary of what guys do when they don't really like you. So the things that guys do when they're not completely obsessed with you, or the things that guys do when they're falling out of love. All right, let me.
Today, that feels illegal to know. I was talking to one of my guy friends about love bombing, and he goes, well, yeah, that sounds like the penny method. I was like, the penny method? There are methods? So he starts explaining it to me, and he goes, okay, imagine a girl is a piggy bank, which, interesting analogy, but hear me out. In order to get her interested, obviously at first you have to be feeding her $100 bills. But putting in $100 bills is a lot of work, and you don't always want to be doing that. So eventually you reduce it to 90. Now she's gonna feel the decrease in effort, but it's only 10%, so if she tries to bring it up, she's gonna sound crazy at this point. Now here's where it gets sick. The next thing you do is you bump it back up to 95. Now, instead of feeling like she lost 5, which is how she would feel if you went directly from 100 to 95, suddenly she feels like she's gained 5. but you are still putting in 5% less effort. Basically, you just keep repeating this cycle and weaning her off your effort until you get to the point where you're giving her pennies and suddenly she's excited to receive a nickel. The idea that men might actually think like this makes me so afraid. Like, is this boy math? Because I don't like it. Anyways, be safe out there, ladies. I think the takeaway message in all of this is that we should never be accepting anything less than $100 bills.
That's insane. That's absolutely, but it's so true as well. Comment down below. I wanna see if any of you guaranteed you've experienced it. That probably happens on like 99% of relationships.
She's eating, guys, the fish intestines. She don't like rice, she don't like hot dogs. She like fish. She like raw.